for years, you've been told the same thing. Happy wife, happy life. It sounds loving. It sounds selfless. But after more than 20 years of working with couples, I've come to believe it's one of the worst pieces of marriage advice that's out there. Now, I'm not saying your wife's happiness doesn't matter. It absolutely does. I'm saying it shouldn't be your job. And here's why. Because when a husband believes he's responsible for making his wife happy, something very subtle happens. He stops showing up as himself and he starts managing her emotions. If she's frustrated, he fixes. If she's disappointed, he works harder. If she's upset, he explains. And if she's quiet, he worries. And if you do this, eventually your emotional state becomes dependent on hers. If she's happy, you feel successful. If she isn't, you feel like you're failing. And here's the irony. The harder you try to make her happy, the less authentic you become. And I recently read something that put words to what I've seen for years. Now, the author said, I am at my worst when I'm trying to make my people happy. And he went on to explain that trying to make people happy wasn't really about love. It was about making himself feel safe. And that really stopped me because I see the same thing in marriages. Good husbands aren't usually trying to control their wives. They're trying to control the uncertainty that they feel when their wife is unhappy. Sound familiar? And I'm going to tell you, that is a huge difference. And it brings me to something I teach every husband that I coach. Every conversation that you have with your wife happens on 3 levels. The first level is what I call the fact level. What's actually happening? I didn't get a call telling me you'd be late. Or, the dishes are still in the sink. The second level is strategy. What should we do about it? I'll let you know when I'm leaving the office. Or let's divide the chores differently. Now, most couples spend almost all their time in those first 2 levels. But every recurring argument lives in the third level. And that level is meaning. What is being taken away from the conversation? Do I matter? Can I depend on you? Are we really partners? And here's what many husbands don't realize. When your wife is upset, the deepest conversation often isn't about her. It's actually about you. Because somewhere inside, you're asking yourself, what does this mean about me? Am I failing? Am I enough? And that's why you rush to fix it. Not because you're selfish or trying to be controlling or because you think she's incompetent, but because you are uncomfortable. But your wife usually isn't asking you to fix her feelings. She's asking whether you're willing to stay present with them. The same author shared another idea that I loved. He asked, what if love isn't about making your people feel happy, but helping your people feel safe? And I think that's exactly right. Think about the people that you trust the most. They're not always cheerful. They're not always fixing problems. What they are is consistent, steady, honest, present. That's what creates emotional safety. And that's what great husbands do. So your goal isn't to eliminate every difficult emotion that your wife has. Your goal is to become someone she feels safe bringing those emotions to. Now, ironically, that is what often creates her sense of happiness. Not because you turned yourself into a pretzel trying to make it happen, but because you built trust and so it could happen naturally. So this week, I'd like you to try one simple shift. Instead of asking, how do I make my wife happy? Ask, how do I help my wife feel safe with me? And you may be surprised by how much that changes things, not just for her, but for you in the relationship as well. Because information doesn't transform marriages, insight does. So if this resonated with you, please leave me a comment. I'd love to know, have you ever felt responsible for your wife's happiness? Just put it down below, let me know. And if this resonates with you, please feel free to subscribe to the channel and share it with those that you care about. And until next week, stay loving.